So I know in the past I've said I likely won't be upgrading this year because I'm pretty content with my 14 Pro Max, but now we have news that could tempt me to upgrade, and that's larger batteries coming to iPhone 15, so let's delve into this. This report comes from IT Home. Allegedly they got this information from a Foxconn worker, but of course it goes without saying guys, take all of this with a grain of salt. I actually remember last year talking about some reports regarding the 14 series getting major battery upgrades, and that did not really pan out. However, I do think there's a higher chance we see bigger batteries with the 15 series, which I'll get to. And by the way, would like to remind you guys, like this video and subscribe for more content like this, it would be appreciated. Anyways, getting into these battery capacities, we begin with the regular models. So the 15 should now have a 3,877 mAh battery inside, which is an 18% increase over the 14, which has a battery capacity of around 3,200 mAh. Now to put things into perspective for you guys, the 11 Pro Max had a battery capacity of 3,969, nice. But anyways, we now have a similar sized battery in the 6.1 inch iPhone, and so coupled with the 60Hz panel and the more efficient A16 chip, we could see some massive battery gains. Now how much better will it be? While the iPhone 13 had a 15% larger battery over the 12, that resulted in a 2.5 hour increase in overall battery life, and so I'm expecting 3 more hours of endurance with the iPhone 15. Currently you get 20 hours of playback on the iPhone 14, and so the 15 could be closer to 23 hours. And if you're wanting an idea of how real life performance should be on this, the 14 lasted 9 hours in Tom Guide's battery test, which is a pretty reliable source, and so 3 more hours of endurance could bring this to 12.5 hours of battery life, which is on par with the 13 Pro Max. That's pretty insane, especially since this is the base iPhone. Coming to the iPhone 15 Pro, historically the base Pro has had a smaller battery inside compared to the regular model because this has larger cameras taking up more space inside the device, and this is no different. Allegedly the battery in the 15 Pro should be 3,650 mAh, which is a 14% increase, and while the battery here is a tad smaller compared to the iPhone 15 because we have the more efficient A17 that should be based on 3nm, and also the LTPO panel that's more efficient, there should still be significant battery life improvements. And so Tom's Guide said the 14 Pro lasted 10 hours 13 minutes in their test, and so we could see battery life in the range of 13 to 14 hours on the 15 Pro, which is impressive for a 6.1 inch device. This could basically bring the regular Pro to the levels of the 13 and 14 Pro Max, and that's very enticing to me because I'm kinda getting fed up with the size of the Pro Max, and so if I could downsize whilst not compromising on the battery life, I might consider it. That's not the most exciting news though, because the 15 Plus could get a battery capacity of 4,912 mAh, which is absolutely ludicrous. I am so excited to see iPhones finally get capacities close to 5,000 mAh, because this is very much the norm in the Android world. You will find many 6.7 inch phones have large batteries inside, and yet iPhones usually still beat them with significantly smaller batteries, and so just imagine the endurance of the 15 Plus now that the capacity inside the device is on par with the Android flagships. Now this is a 14% increase over the 14 Plus, and so similar to the jump from iPhone 12 to 13, we could see Apple give us 2.5 more hours of endurance with the 15 Plus. Currently the 14 Plus offers 26 hours of video playback, so the 15 Plus could now be closer to 29 hours, and that's absolutely amazing. I will say though that Apple seems to downplay the video playback on the regular models because they don't have variable refresh rates, and so extrapolating based on Tom Guide's findings, we could see 14.5 hours of battery life with the 15 Plus, since the 14 Plus lasted for 11 hours and 57 minutes. That would make this significantly outperform the 14 Pro Max that lasted 13 hours and 39 minutes, and so yeah, this is very impressive guys, and this is the reason why I'm led to believe these battery reports are gonna end up being true, because we all know the 14 Plus flopped miserably sales-wise, and so this very much is Apple's last chance to make the 15 Plus work. Apple only kept around the Mini for 2 generations, but even after significantly improving the battery life on the 13 Mini, it still did not do that well, so yes, Apple got rid of it, and I'm guessing the same's gonna happen with the 15 Plus if it again does not do that well sales-wise. However, I do think there's a good chance the 15 Plus is going to be a much more popular device. Firstly, it's going to be released alongside the rest of the models at the same time, since you might remember the 14 Plus released a little later compared to the other models, but also the Pros are getting more expensive, increasing the gap between the Plus and the regular Pro. Since remember right now the 14 Plus is $900 and the 14 Pro is $1,000, and so obviously most are gonna get the Pro models instead. However, if there's a $200 or $300 price gap between these products, then most might just settle for the Plus instead. Not only that, but the island is coming down to the regular models this year, which should give these phones a fresh look on the front. It's a visual change that sets them apart from older notched iPhones, and I'm sure that was a big reason many got the 14 Pro this year, because yes, functionally the island offered little improvements, but of course after having a notch on the iPhone for years, it was a much needed visual upgrade, and I'm sure that's going to convince many older iPhone users to get the 15 and 15 Plus. And the cherry on top of all of this will be the battery life, but of course, if you want the best of the best endurance, you will still have to get the Pro Max. And well, let's now delve into the capacity inside that. Allegedly, the 15 Pro Max is going to have a 4,852 mAh battery inside, which yes, like the Pro, is smaller than the regular counterpart, but that makes sense since there's going to be a massive periscope lens inside, taking up space, and it's impressive alone Apple's actually managed to give us a capacity close to 5,000 mAh in the first place. Anyways, coupled with the more efficient 3nm A17 and also the more efficient LTPO display on this, we should get some industry-leading endurance with the 15 Pro Max. In Tom Guide's testing, the 14 Pro Max lasted 13 hours and 39 minutes, and so considering the 15 Pro Max has a 12% larger battery inside, I'm expecting 16 to 17 hours of battery life, which would be absolutely bonkers because right now the market leader in terms of battery life is the ROG Phone 6 that lasted 18 hours and 30 minutes in Tom Guide's testing, and so it's pretty insane. The 15 Pro Max could come close with only a 4,800 mAh battery inside, since for those not aware, the ROG Phone has a 6,000 mAh battery inside and also is a gaming device, and so the fact a regular flagship comes close is very impressive and it could convince me to upgrade. So yeah, this really seems to be the year to get the new iPhone if you do want significant battery upgrades. And another reason why I do think these battery capacities are going to pan out is because Apple has a TikTok cycle of sorts when it comes to battery improvements. The iPhone 11, for example, was a massive leap in endurance over the XS, but the 12 then actually ruined things and was worse battery life wise, but the 13 then fixed this, and the 14 again was kind of a side grade, where the battery life was not that much better, so yes, based on this, the 15 should give us big upgrades, and if you want to upgrade when there's significant battery changes, get the odd numbered iPhones. Those are the ones that usually get bigger batteries. Also, based on the leak CADs, the chassis are getting thicker this year, so yes, that again is evidence we're getting bigger batteries. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple content, and thank you for watching.